the ring, Hamed's unique style defies laws of balance and power. He defines unorthodox.
Hometown special here. When the Americans see this, I'm telling you.
Oh, yes. And Naseem tagged him a couple more times, real heavy. Thomas taking some real shots here.
Kevin Kelley is called the Flushing Flash, but his flair for the dramatic is confined to the ring. In his most memorable fight, he was losing to Derek Gainer, right eye swollen shut, when a sudden punch changed both fighters' destinies.
From Kevin Kelley's nostrils now, both sides bleeding. Down goes Gainer.
A left hand, a big, big left hand, and Gainer may not get up.
So the transatlantic stage is set. Can Naseem Hamed's substance back up his style? Is Kevin Kelley still up to taking on the world's best? We'll find out next. Prince Naseem Hamed isn't really a prince. He is a British Arab of Yemeni descent who has taken much of the rest of the world by storm. His two-fisted punching power and showmanship, combined with his featherweight title, make him one of the most celebrated athletes in Europe and Northern Africa. And although his rapid ascent is nothing short of astonishing, the artist currently known as Prince expected all this and more.
I totally believe from the bottom of my heart that I've got God on my side. I think I'm blessed with a gift. And I'm planning to be a legend, you know. In my eyes, I'm destined for greatness.
And he's a living legend here in Sheffield. They see in him a genuine British sporting hero for the 1990s. A kid like them. A kid who only 3 or 4 years ago was living above his parents' shop. This is not a kid 50 times removed from them. This is a kid just like them.
Well, maybe not just like them. Hamed's flamboyance, both in and out of the ring, earns him his most ardent supporters and his most fervent detractors.
People either love him or hate him. There really isn't any in-between in my eyes. There's some people that think, oh, he's this arrogant little boxer or whatever, from all the crap press that they've read.
He's so good, he's told people he's so good, and he basically doesn't bow down, he doesn't kowtow to anybody. He does his own thing. And it's that type of attitude that I think has lost him an awful lot of friends.
The people only see what he's like in the ring. But he's not arrogant. He's a proud man, and he deserves to be a proud man. It's not arrogance. It's super confidence.
People anywhere can be crossing their fingers, crossing their legs, and dying for me to lose if they want. But it doesn't really matter.
Decided to answer.
Listen, I'm gonna trying to create a nice job for you, putting my posters up with HBO.
Believe what he's saying.
Believe me.
And then you could drive a cab or work at 7-Eleven.
I've told you.
That's what's gonna happen.
That's what you're gonna do.
That's exactly what's gonna happen.
They've done their best to try to express their hatred for one another, but in reality, as you can see from yesterday's weigh-in, they amuse each other. They've had at least 2 long sit-down conversations in which Kelley describes himself as something of an advisor to the Prince, and clearly, to my way of thinking, Kevin Kelley likes Prince Naseem much better than he wants to. Tail of the tape for Prince Naseem Hamed against Kevin Kelley. 7-year age advantage for the Prince. 4-inch height advantage for Kelley. 6-inch reach advantage. They both weighed in at the featherweight limit of 126. Kelley's trainer Phil Borgia says, how's he going to get past Kevin's longer jab? How's he going to deal with his height and his reach? Punch stat numbers, Larry.
He's at a disadvantage. And that's what happened. Kelley started to go into the wrong kind of stuff. He didn't need that.
He got into Naz's world. Has an outstanding right jab. First hard punch of the fight is a straight right hand.
You don't want to get out there waiting.
Hamed is a puzzle that Kelley is unable to solve. But down goes the Prince on Kelley's first serious landed punch. Second time in his career he's been down.
Now they will get a good, powerful right jab by Kevin Kelley.
Strong jab. Backs Naseem up. Naseem in the ropes. And one of the things that could happen would be that the Prince was exposed as a fraud. Kevin Kelley.
Yeah, I think the last knockdown was fluke.
Kelley was down.
The knockdown, the the slip. Hard right hand inside by Kelley.
I think the mistake he made. There we saw it. Let's go.
And Kelley gets out of his boxing stance and decides to go to war.
It's at his advantage to stay wild. Drop your hand, make this guy wait for you.
Kelley lands a hard chopping left and another. Naseem seemingly beginning to weather. Ducks from side to side, trying to get away from punches. Takes a hard left from Kelley there. And lands a hard right hand of his own. Pointed out, that's another thing Phil Borgia said. He said, my man has the better jab and the longer reach.
Break through Kelley's guard.
They trade right hands. Kevin's was the harder of the two. Good left uppercut by Prince Naseem. Right hand lands again as well. He sure does. Naseem lands a couple power punches. Kevin Kelley lands a hard left hand. Kelley misses with the right and misses wildly with the right. They trade in short bursts and flurries. Naseem landing more accurately in this round than has been the case before, but taking some leather in return. Down goes Kelley. Both fighters down twice in the fight.
Ooh, a good
blistering right hand by Hamed. Kelley a little slow to respond here.
You got to be careful mixing up with Kelley because he can fight.
And that's going to be ruled a knockdown. And the Naseem advocates in the crowd boo that. Hard left hand by Kelley. And a right hand shot. Leaping right hand by the Prince.
Ooh.
And a hard left. And Kelley's down for the third time.
Whoa!
6, 7, 8, 9.
He's got a half a minute, and he is definitely hurt.
He's
and the
for real.
fight is over.
George, this was like your fight with Ron Lyle. Gunslinger against gunslinger.
Boy, this guy's got power all in his hand. He's not putting his body into it, just hand speed.
That was the first Prince Naseem knockdown of Kelley in that round. Then here's the Prince going down.
I don't really think that was a knockdown. I think that this guy stooped so low, he has a tendency to touch his hands down to the canvas.
Well, if his glove grazes the canvas, the referee is within his rights to rule it a knockdown, and Benji Esteves did. And then that stunning left hand, and Kevin Kelley unable to get up from that left hand. He couldn't beat the count.
The winner and still the undefeated WBO featherweight champion of the world, Prince Naseem Ahmed.
All right, Naseem, congratulations.
Thanks a lot, my man.
You describe what happened in this fight tonight.
Well, first of all, I come out of the first round, and I know my jab was too clean and nice and fast, but still, I wanted a bit of a fight. I wanted to cause so much excitement in this arena. It's my first night, it's my first fight in New York, Madison Square Garden, and I wanted to show the people here that I can fight. I can take it on the chin, and I can give it. End of the day, he caught me with some great shots, all due respect to Kevin, but I wanted to basically take him out, and I just really want to show all my skill on the night. I wanted to make it look exciting for everybody, so I had to take some shots, but I give my shots. Now, I took his, but did he take mine?
Well, we're going to watch round one and the knockdown in round one. When you were knocked down, were you...
My hair looked good.
Were you stunned by what was going on here? Was he presenting a different picture than you imagined?
I didn't really see the shot, so I've got to give it him. But look at me, straight up. That's the heart of a lion. That is the heart of a lion.
Right.
A champion's heart, straight up. Compose myself, get back. Even though I got hit with some good shots, I came back and I gave him my shots. And he didn't take my shot. No.
You fought in what appeared to be a more orthodox fashion than you have in other fights. Explain why.
Because I was here, it's my first time Madison Square Garden. I wanted to cause some exciting. I wanted a fight. I know I can fight. I know when it comes down to it, when it comes down to heart and the heart of a champion and getting in there and taking the fight, whatever you've got to take, you've got to give. And I give mine, and he gave his, and he couldn't take it. I knew.
When did you sense that he was weakening and that he couldn't really take your power?
Well, I started getting closer and closer. I knew once I hit him, now he went down before I took him out, and the referee looked in his eyes, and he couldn't take any of it. He couldn't take no more. The referee let me at him again. It'd have been the best.
All right, look at that.
There you go. There you go. Now, if I didn't walk up to him as fast as I did,
he wouldn't get up. Second round.
There you go. All I hit him with a perfect right hand. Now look, you can see him smiling, but he knows the pain. I was smiling when he hit me. I was smiling, but at the end of the day, my feet was back together, my head was clear. I got up straight away, composed myself, and took him out.
It seemed that both of you both liked and respected each other.
Definitely. Kevin is a very, very nice guy. I get on with Kevin, I got on with Tom Johnson, all the American fighters. The great guys in and out the ring. So at the end of the day, I just want to fight. And I did that, and I took him out. I came to America. I proved myself. I'm 29-0. What can I say? The last time they've all gone knockouts now from 94. I've stopped every one of them from 94.
Repeat what you said to Kevin at the end of the fight.
Kevin, you're probably one of the best I've boxed, if not the best. I know I'm the best you've boxed, and he said that to me and all. We've got great respect for each other, but at the end of the day, I am the world champion, and people have got to realize I am the champion of the world.
Except for what he was saying, just stick to the game plan. It would have been
Okay, Kevin, thank you very much for a terrific and a memorable fight. You give us your version of what happened and why it happened to you at the end.
Well, the biggest thing, I'm so sorry to people in New York. I was protecting my house and my house that Ruth built. I deviated. That's what I did. Phil was telling me the right information. We trained the right way, and what happened was I had him big time. I could hurt him when I hit him. I hit harder than he did. And I felt his power. It wasn't as big as he said it was. It wasn't bigger than everybody thinks it is. And I showed him mine. And when I showed him mine, I hurt him. And the difference was, I blame myself for getting over-anxious and becoming acceptable to get hit by him.
When you hit a guy that hard and you knock him down, there's a tendency to believe you can do it again and want to get rid of him, right?
I did it many times, and that's what happened. I kept doing it. I continued to do it, but the problem was I wanted to keep him there. And because I wasn't keeping him there, I started getting over-anxious, and that's when I got caught with the first punch that knocked me down. It was more of a flash knockdown, but like I said, I get up and I continue.
All right, let's take a look at what happened in round one, your knockdown of him.
Right here, I'm setting him up. He's getting over-anxious. I noticed when I hit him with the first punch, I said, man, every time I hit him, I hurt him. Everybody says about Crystal Chins, one thing about him, I showed tonight, he's not as good as he says he is. He's a good fighter. I give him most of the respect. He's champion tonight. He came on top. The only reason I'm not champion tonight, I want to let everybody know, no fear, who endorsed me, and EA, or Sports Game, which I'm coming out on. The reason I lost tonight because I deviated from my training thoughts.
Well, but then he gets credit for making you deviate, doesn't he?
No, I deviated because of me. I'm the kind of fighter that Phil always tells me, my wife always tells me, my father tells me, I'm my worst enemy.
All right, let's turn to the end of the fight and your memory of what happened. If we can get there, you have suffered one previous knockdown in this round.
Well, here I'm trying to set him up with the jab. He's very careless. He does a lot of mistakes. Hit me with overhand left. As you can see, I'm down, but I'm not really that hurt. I'm gonna stay down a little while, but just like okay, cool. I'm understandable. I'm gonna get up to count of 8. I got to count of 8. Take the rest. You see me, I'm a veteran at this. I know what it is to get knocked down. I figure I take the full rest. Phil was telling me grab him. I'm looking at the corner. I want to come back. Because what happens is when he starts loading and throwing, he starts getting over-anxious himself, and he was getting caught.
But you have to give him credit for his power. He came into you. He came into your building, and he took care of business.
He came in my building, but one thing he said, I'm the best fighter he's ever fought, never will fight. The bottom line is that
let's see if we get the remake.
I can do it again down the road somewhere. Right now,
Kevin, you were just a part of the Hagler Hearns of the featherweight division. You have nothing to be ashamed of.
Well, I started this. I'm happy. I'm content. My wife's content with everything that's went on. She's a little angry at what has happened to this whole event. But hey, Kevin Kelley came. He showed that Ahmed is not the fighter everybody says he is, not the Roy Jones.
Thank you a lot, Kevin.